Hey guys, if you're trying to fix rattles or squeaks in your Saab, specifically in your Saab 9.3, then here are two things I'd like to share with you. So, this is a foam rubber insulation tape. This is made by a company called Frost King. You can get it at Home Depot. It's I believe this is called closed cell foam, but it's got a kind of rubbery texture, and when it's compressed pretty hard, it'll actually kind of stay in place. But it works really well as a shock absorber. So, where you need this stuff is anywhere where you've got plastic touching metal or plastic touching plastic. So in the front driver's well, this little cover piece snaps off, and what I did was I put foam rubber up and behind it where it touches along this metal bar up here. You can't really see that, but you have to pop it off. Another place is this large cover right here on the center console. This is removed with a single screw right here, and then there's a tab up here that that slides in. So you remove this screw, slide it backward, down, right here, down, and then backward. And then you can pull the whole piece out. But I put foam rubber right up behind here because this area is touching plastic and it tends to rattle when you go over bumps. The next area I did was right here where this hood release is touching plastic. It's a little bit loose, and when you go over bumps or certain types of pavement or you're at certain RPMs, all of these places can rattle or vibrate. Maybe this is Saab build quality. Maybe it's just this car is 16 years old and things start to shrink. Plastic starts to get brittle, rubber. The next area is right here, between this cover right here and here. You can see this kind of bounces up and down. This isn't sturdy. This is just a cover over to cover up and clean up the wires underneath the dash. But I put it right here. Next place is right here. There's this piece right here has a peg that's molded in that stabs through this rubber. This is a rubber separator right here between the firewall and the footwell. And I put foam rubber right there. I put foam rubber right here in another area where it, again, has a peg that stabs through this plastic rubber cover right here. Foam rubber right there. Next place is pull the seat release is right here behind this seat. I put foam rubber. You can see it's sandwiched nicely right there, right here behind the seat back. What I discovered is that everything that I'm doing, it just improves it a little bit. You're not going to be able to put, foam rubber or insulation somewhere and it'll fix all the rattles. It's a little bit everywhere. Next place, right here, behind this armrest, this little door cover can shake and rattle and roll when you go over bumps. This little handle right here can be loose, and it's really hard to find some of these rattles, so hopefully this helps you guys out. Next place is right up here underneath this high mounted stoplight. So I'll try to focus here. This is plastic on plastic. There's a bracket right here that's plastic on plastic. So what I did was I put foam rubber up here, actually between this rubber edge and the glass, because this whole plastic piece was just kind of shaking. And the last piece I'll show you, it's actually this rear deck lid cover right here with the speaker assemblies. And let's see if I can show you. You kind of have to lay down in the trunk, and then you actually need to stuff foam rubber up on top of this metal support. You need to put it up on top of that, between that and this deck lid, which you can see moves a little bit. And without that foam rubber, it tends to, there's like a plastic that tends to touch on this right here. So you need to put foam rubber between this metal basically, and you can do it anywhere where you feel like it's contacting, but between this metal deck lid and the plastic deck lid cover above it, so that this is not, you know, making a tapping sound whenever you go over a big bump. And then I put a little bit of this foam rubber around this cable right here, the cable pull, on both sides. So the last thing you can do is look for any loose plastic pieces around the center console, or you know, dash fitment issues. And the last thing I did was I took bits of it, so you tear off bits of that foam, and then you actually use something like a flathead, or but preferably something that's like a plastic wedge, not necessarily a metal, because you don't want to mar this or cut it. And then you can stuff little bits of that foam in and around this speaker grill edge, because this tends to move a little bit when you go over bumps. Hope this helps you guys out. Your car may be different, but just look for, generally speaking, places where there are loose panels, where plastic can be touching plastic, where you have loose plastic cover pieces especially, that could be touching metal, and you want to try to cushion those areas where they could be hitting. Loose wires can also be something to look for. Thanks.